Water. It is among the most valuable resources on Earth. Life simply wouldn't exist without it. We rely heavily on it in our everyday lives. Water is a basic human necessity, however, not everyone has the same access to it. Globally, there are a number of water-related issues linked to communicable diseases. Join us as we explore one of the most significant issues today, which is human access to safe, clean water. Depending on where in the world you live, obtaining clean water is an extremely difficult task. In fact, 1 in 9 individuals, or 844 million people globally, do not have access to clean water. A lack of access to safe water or sanitation contributes to the spread of infections and waterborne disease, and kills nearly 1 million people every year. The regions with the lowest coverage of improved sanitation are Sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, and East Asia. This translates to about 2.4 billion people who lack access to improved sanitation facilities. Many of these people are unable to get clean water for drinking, cooking, cleaning, and other everyday tasks, which ultimately results in illness. This lack of access to clean water affects the physical well-being of women and children who have no choice but to carry heavy vessels long distances. Imagine being a woman in Sub-Saharan Africa, spending about 6 hours every day collecting water for your family. Safe drinking water is also critical to the development of a healthy child. Clean water means children won't experience waterborne illnesses like typhoid. Diarrhea is the third leading cause of death in children and is often the result of consuming unclean water. To put this in perspective, a child dies every 2 minutes from a waterborne disease. Whether they're consuming contaminated water or suffering from dehydration due to diarrhea, not having access to safe water is responsible. Why does this issue exist? Today, developing regions experience a high prevalence of waterborne diseases due to inadequate water practices. Without access to clean water and insufficient sanitation facilities, people openly defecate into bodies of water such as lakes, rivers, and oceans. This can lead to increased cases of severe diarrheal diseases such as cholera, typhoid fever, dysentery, hepatitis A, and polio. A major waterborne disease found in many victims suffering from poor sanitation and clean water is dysentery. Dysentery is any infectious diarrheal episode in which the loose or watery stools contain visible red blood. Most cases are in developing regions with poor sanitation. The causative agent of dysentery lingers in water that is contaminated with human feces and is transmitted through the fecal-oral route. The causative agent includes a parasitic amoeba called Entamoeba histolytica or bacteria such as Salmonella and Shigella. Amoebic and bacillary dysentery can both cause blood and mucus in the stools, although bacillary tends to be more severe. A person may experience bloody diarrhea with a fever, intense stomach pain, and rapid weight loss. Now let's look at what is being done to combat this global issue. There are organizations around the world that have taken initiative to address access to clean water in communities. A notable organization that has made tremendous efforts to help the cause is WE. They are known for working with communities around the world to ensure more people can gain access to clean water. They hire local staff to help implement sustainable projects, which are modified to the unique needs of each community. Some projects organized by WE include boring holes, rehabilitating existing water projects, introducing hand pump systems, leveraging natural springs, and building infrastructure for irrigation. Not only does WE build water systems for communities, they also train members of the community to maintain the water system, ensuring the sustainability of each project. Some other organizations that have been doing meaningful work include Water.org, Charity Water, WaterAid, and the Thirst Project. These are just a few of the countless organizations that are working to globally broaden access to safe, clean water. But as with any global issue, it's important to ensure that the organization you're supporting is making a sustainable, culturally sensitive impact. An indication that an organization is doing work you can trust is that they let communities in need define what would help them on their own and work to fill those needs with long-lasting, sustainable solutions. what else can we do to improve access to clean, safe water and address the water crisis? As an individual, you can find and support organizations like the ones previously mentioned. Whether it's by donating or volunteering, all forms of contributions do help. We can also make small changes in our own lives by being more conscious of our water consumption. This is beneficial to long-term water sustainability around the world. Another way we can support improved access to water is by supporting the development of clean water initiatives. There are contests and projects all over the world that bring together some of the greatest minds to find innovative solutions to global issues. The last thing we can do is probably one of the most important, which is to educate communities that have a high prevalence of waterborne diseases on safe water practices. By educating locals on the dangers of consuming contaminated water and some precautions they can take, we can reduce the number of people that become ill or die from water-related diseases. Teaching them effective filtration techniques or better sanitation practices can go a long way. Now let's recap on what we've learned today. There are many people around the world that do not have access to clean water. This results in many developing regions like sub-Saharan Africa being affected by various water-communicable diseases. These areas deal with countless people falling ill or dying from consuming unsafe water. When there aren't proper sanitary infrastructures in place, water sources such as lakes and rivers become contaminated, most often by feces. When people use or consume this unclean water, they're at risk for developing diseases such as cholera, typhoid, and dysentery, to name a few. There are organizations like Water.org and WE that work to improve access to clean, safe water in communities where water-related illnesses are a serious problem. Whether it's by supporting water initiatives or educating locals on better water practices, we've made significant progress in addressing clean water issues, but still have a long way to go. Clean water is necessary to survive, and everyone has a right to it. Water communicable diseases are a major challenge in many parts of the world, and hopefully we can reduce its prevalence so affected communities can thrive and lead healthier lives. Thanks for watching.